Hey guys, it's Tyler as always, doing another Rambling Cocktails, a series we haven't visited in a while, which is a series where I either ramble about a lot of different things or condense a few topics into one video while I make a cocktail and we chat about it without chatting about it because it's not live, but please chat about it in the comments. And I came to a conclusion that 3 different games that have been looked at recently in the 4D community pretty much all have the same issues. I would be repeating myself if I talked about the issues in Jason Bullman's Pathfinder games, the issues in Josh Strife Hayes' one-shot 5e games, the issues in MinMax's games, and it's GMs, shut up. I mean this with love, but you need to stop talking. That would fix so many of your issues. Well, let's get into the cocktail, and then I'll elaborate on it. I'll let you think about that for a little bit. We're going to be whipping up a riff on an old-fashioned, and it's a riff on an old-fashioned for a couple of reasons. One of those reasons is because I started making an old-fashioned, and I realized I'm out of oranges, but I still want an old-fashioned. I'll show you how to remedy that. Crack some ice. Make sure that none of it ends up in the glass. If any of it ends up in the glass, you've done something wrong. You probably need more ice than you think you do. In the meantime, while I'm getting that prepped, I found one of these fun giant ice spheres at the Asian market from Korea. It's a 70 millimeter ice ball, like a freaking cannonball over here. Would that be a quarter pounder? Oh yeah, that's going to look awesome. Chuck that in my freshly clean double rocks glass. Oh yeah, perfect in there. Nice. I'm going to pop this in the freezer while we're mixing the drink. Crack a little bit more ice in here, because as I said, usually if you have a good old-fashioned at a bar and you can't figure out, you know, all my drink ratios are the same. Use the same amount of bitters. Use 2 ounces of your whiskey. Use your 1/4 to 1/2 ounce of syrup. Well, you probably didn't use enough ice, because if you change the amount of ice, you're changing the thermal mass. And when you change the thermal mass, you will get more cooling and less dilution. Obviously, we want some dilution, but we don't want too much dilution because it's going to be served on the rocks, or on one big rock in this case. I'm going to be using a really nice product I found recently, Knob Creek Smoked Maple. It's 90 proof, so it stands up to being mixed pretty well. Very naturally sweet. Go light on the syrup when you're using this. And it almost smells like, alcoholic maple syrup. It's crazy. Really, really gorgeous. And it's straight bourbon and no artificial flavoring. But it almost tastes like there is. Get our little jigger out here. We're going to do 1 ounce here. Now in the Western style, they will tell you use the cheapest ingredients first. So if you screw it up and you have to throw the whole thing out, well, you have more chances to screw it up and not run into too many issues. Whereas here, I've got several steps to screw this up, and I've already poured my most expensive ingredient in. The Japanese style would say go from lightest to heaviest ingredient, so highest alcohol content to lowest alcohol content. Now, because this is a pretty strongly flavored, smoky, good bourbon, I'm going to dash the hell out of our Angostura bitters. If you see 2 dashes, safely ignore that. 4 at least. I'm going 6 because I'm like that. Don't have an orange peel. What's our solution to that? I'm going to be using some orange bitters from the Bitter Truth here. Will it be exactly the same? No, but it'll be very similar in flavor profile. And yeah, maybe 2 dashes worth there. Now, this bottle, because it's so much lighter, a dash is not going to be the same as a dash from a standard, 6.8 ounce, 4 ounce Angostura bottle. Could not remember which one I had there. And as far as syrup, I think what'll pair really well with this as we're getting through the last days of winter, strangling on here. Yes, the dreaded pumpkin spice syrup. This is a nice one. I got at Hobby Lobby of all places. It's just pure cane sugar, water, pumpkin flavor, agave nectar, vanilla flavor, sea salt, nutmeg, cinnamon, ginger, citric acid, and cloves. So, all good stuff. Nothing weird in there. And like I said, I'm going to go incredibly light with this. Literally like 2 bar spoons probably. Maybe a 1/4 ounce. And because this is our heaviest ingredient, it will sink down to the bottom and we won't have to worry about potentially if we poured the syrup first, that's sticking at the bottom of our glass. Even still, dig at the bottom first, then turn. The reason I hold the glass here like this is so I can feel when it's starting to get cold. Alright, yep, that's it. Phenomenal. Jam our Hawthorne strainer in there, grab glass out of the freezer, put the rest of our ice tray back. And that as a drink speaks for itself. I knew I was forgetting something, a skewer. You can go for 2 if you want to. These are so rich, though. I'm just going to go with 1. And, of course, if you were unlike me and you had your orange peels, you'd use that right now. If you like yours a little sweeter, you can put the cherry syrup in. I get customer requests for that all the time. So some people like them. All right, let's give this a taste. And let's get into what I actually mean about RPGs here. Let me give you my facial expressions. Lean on the bar nice and close to you here. Yep, that's perfect. 2 bar spoons of that. That was a thick syrup. It's about a 2-to-1 simple syrup if I had to guess. Perfect. The bourbon still comes through. You get the sweetness. It's not overly sweet. You get the smokiness. It's not overly woody, though. Like some old scotches can be just like chewing on pencils. It's I don't like a lot of stuff that's very much past 15 years, give or take. Really well balanced. Bracing, but the ethanol note, it's not an ethanol note. It's just proofy enough. I think 90 proof is just perfect for me. So yeah, that's quite good. I'm going to enjoy that. But let me not chug it down and then give you plastered ramblings. When I saw all of these games, the one thing that stuck out was skip 5 minutes, see who's talking. The GM is probably talking. And okay, the GM controls the whole world. The player characters, they get their character and their immediate surroundings if we're doing co-creation. Fantastic. Right. If you control 50% of the world already, everything else, well, 90% of the world, let's not talk 90% of the time, right? Let's try to split it up as evenly as possible, right? We need to be there to adjudicate game terms occasionally, right? That's the game master. Sure, fine. But when your players are trying to do something, when your players are telling you, I swing my sword at the guy's head, don't reiterate what they say because you think you have a cooler description than they do. They already don't get to talk as much as you. So let them have their descriptions. Let them be in control of their one character. You get everybody else. Isn't that enough? And when you let go of that, you get to have a lot more freedom when you're playing through these games. And there's a lot more excitement. There's a lot more exploration for you as the GM when you're letting your players surprise you in moments. Furthermore, you're going to train your players that I'm going to shut up. I'm going to be silent. If you don't like that awkward silence, you better do something. Come on, guys. I'm not coming here to prepare a story for you. I'm here to prepare a world for you. Go check out Uriah. Oh my gosh, what did he change his channel's name to? Roll On Buddy. Go check out Roll On Buddy's channel. And see his video that he did a couple weeks ago on prep. That's what you should be preparing. When you train your players to know that there's no prepared story, there's not a linear path that you have to go through, it allows for you to take a step back and actually enjoy the experience. I think you'll find that you won't burn out nearly as much. The preparation that you do is going to be a lot more enjoyable because it's more sparing. It doesn't feel like a job. It's something you actually want to do. And not everyone suffers from burnout. Some people just love that authorship, right? And if you really, really love that authorship and you can't let go of having to re-edit and re-author all your players' turns, you have to move your players around. You can't stop telling them what they see, what they feel, especially all of these different things. Maybe a different medium is for you, right? If you don't like flavors of oak, stone fruit notes, smoky notes, vanilla, nuttiness, maybe don't drink bourbon. But look, there's a whole cabinet out here. There's a million other things, a bunch of really great hobbies, some of which you don't even have to engage with nerds in. So, there's a lot of really cool stuff out there. And, places for people to storyboard their fantasy stuff. And I think a lot of your friends would have a lot of appreciation for you if you shut up and let the game play, right? Respect your players' intelligence and their autonomy. At the end of the day, they're probably your friends, even if just online friends. Or they can become your friends if they're not already. So, yeah, respect that. I'll see ya. I'm going to finish this drink.